course. Actually, the problem is this: we can define that how a user can be created after uh, creating a user or after getting sign in user with our system. Then a user or the student need to enrollment his or herself into the course. So there are the basically course enrollment defines that a user, a student, can be added to into a course, given course. Okay. So am I audible to all of you? Can you please confirm in the chat window? Okay, thank you so much. So what we are going to this session, we already have created some users in the morning session. So we are going to enroll those students or those users into the course. We can enroll a user into our course like as a student. We can also can use or define a teacher role assigned to some teachers or by the course administrator or the manager, because teacher are responsible to add the student, but teacher are not supposed to enroll himself or herself for the course. Okay, so the course creator and the manager have the rights, or the site administrator have the rights to enroll a teacher into the course. Okay, so what we are going to do. So first, these are the simple points of the course enrollment. You can add the students into the course. You can student can enroll themselves. That is called the students enroll themselves into a course. Teachers can also enroll the manually into the course and allow to guest how to get into the course, and adding bulk students in a bulk into a course. So these are the points basically in which, as we can see, there are the first type of the enrollment method, that is called the manual enrollment. The manual enrollment is that when a new user comes into your course, and you just going to assign or enroll that user into your course. That is the manual enrollment, where user does not be supposed to get self enrollment or the by default enrollment into the course. That is called the first manual enrollment. Second one option is the self enrollment, where suppose there is a university or there could be a curriculum in some universities or the some institute where teachers just going into the classroom and give their introduction lecture to the students and ask them to join their course, and user or the students are really want to join their course, then they cannot be done by the manual enrollment. That should be joined by the self enrollment. And in this self enrollment, I also can fix my size. In the manual enrollment, the whole control is mine, that how many students I'm going to enroll in my course. In the self enrollment, that is also again the part of my course that I can assign, I can fix that how many users can be enrolled in my lectures, or sorry, in my course by self enrollment. Okay, so next one is the guest access. Guest access is a special case where user guest is allowed to access your course. He can attend all the lectures. He can check your resources, but he is not able to appear in any assignment or any other activities assigned in the class. So that is the restriction to the guest access. Suppose that sometimes you find out on the coursera.org, they are supposed to give you some rights, like if you are going to supposed to do some course, and they will ask to pay the course fee to get the certificate. But what else if you want to check it out, the course is valuable for you or not? Suppose that I have done a lot of machine learning courses, and the new upcoming machine learning courses for me beneficial for me or not. I just want to check it. So I have an option there that is called the audit course. So that audit course means I have just only guest access to check out the whole content of that course, to attend all the lectures and all the shared contents on the Coursera. But I'm not allowed supposed to get the certificate. I am not supposed to complete the assignments. That is the restrictions on the CAS by the Moodle. So how are we going to enrollment process? So first is the go to the course administration. Now this is the big question: how we get the course administration, because that is the thing which is not appear in our admin panel basically. Then the course administration, go to the user and go to the enrollment method. So this is our first activity, to create the students, enroll all students into the program. Okay, so I'm just going to switch it into my dashboard. Okay, so sir, I think the PPT was shared, but if it is not shared, then I will share it again into the group. Okay, so just come to the site administration and you can check it out. There is no course administration pages here. So first I need to do, I have to create the some users. Just for example, just let me check out how many users are there. There are only 5 users, in which user 1 and user 2, those are my different users. So I just want to enroll these 2 users into my course. So just go to the site home, select the course. These are the course which are basically created earlier in session. BTech, inside the BTech Computer Science Engineering semester 1. And I suppose that both the user 1 and user 2, both are the user of the section 1. So click on section and select the course. After selecting the course, now you are able to get here, the course name is the Mathematics 1, and along with this one, you just find out this gear button. Whenever you are going to click this one, you are able to see there is a more option. Okay, so just click on this more option and you are able to see the course administration tab here, until unless you are not able to see the course administration tab. So according to this course administration, you can click on the edit setting to edit the course which was created earlier. Okay, and otherwise you can go to the user and check it out how many users are enrolled in this course. So we can see here there are no one user has been selected or not enrolled in this course. Now yes, what I supposed to do, I have to enroll 2 different students like user 1 and user 2 to get enrolled in this course. So what should I need to do? Go to the again to the course, click on this one gear button, go to more. Please don't click on turn editing off or on. That should be that will be allow you to edit into the course page, not the course administration. So just go to the user and select. Sorry, through this course you can just check it out here. There is the participants. You just click on the participants window and you get it the enroll users. So just click on this enroll users and you are now able to see the enrollment options. This is the manual. Actually, what we are going to do here, we are just going to manually enroll users, all users into my course. So now just click on this one. There are only 6 users, so that is showing this list of the users. But if your university or if your institute has more than 100 users, then it will give you the search option and you can just type down the user, the first name or the email ID or the last name, whatever you require. You just can type here and you will get the all listed users here. So just click on this one. It means the user is selected as a student, and you also can define the role of that user inside the course. So by default, I am going to use as a course student. Next one is the user 2. Now both the users are going to be enrolled. Whenever you're going to select more, okay, I'm going to discuss later. So just click this one, enroll users. Now you can see both the users are created here. Now it means both users are enrolled in my this one course. Okay, so I'm just going to switch, going to open new tab, and let me get in. Let me log in with the user one, and the password should be, just forgot the password. Okay, let me create a new user. Just forgot the password. So without wasting the time, I'm just going to create the new user. User 3, and that should be first name user 3, user 3 at gmail.com. That's it. That is the simplest way to create a user. I am not giving the password. User at the rate 12. Okay, so I just need to create this user, but this user is not enrolled in any one course. So I just can log in with this user ID that's called user 3, and the password was user at the rate 123. Now you can see at the site home page, it is showing me the course category. Whenever I'm going to click section 1 and the chemistry course, that is the one course which is available for me, but it is showing that you cannot enroll yourself in this course. Okay, so what should I need to do? I need to go to the site administration page again, site home, and the browse till the course semester 1, section 1, and mathematics 1, and click on this one. Go to more, user, participants, and click enroll users, and just type down user 3. Now this is my user 3. User is registered for this one course, but this one, this user 3 is also available for this one course. But you can see here, if I refresh this page or go to my site home, again navigate till the course, but I'm not able to see the mathematics 1 course. It is just only because whenever I have created that course, that was not visible for the students. So what should I need to do? First I need to complete, first I need to make visible that course to all the participants. Okay, so that every participant can see and join my course. So click on this one, go to edit setting, and make it visible. That is the simplest way. And now flip to the next one, user 3 window. When I refresh this one, now the mathematics one is appear here. While I click on the chemistry one, that will not going to show me. That is saying that you are not cannot enroll yourself. But when I click on the mathematics, it is showing me the content of the course. Okay, how many weeks program is this? That is showing basically here. So that is the thing, how you are going to enroll manual enrollment of users or the student into your course. Second one, okay. Second one is the thing. What I need to do. Suppose there is one course. It is Windows. Site home. Navigate to the other one course. The introduction of to computer that is not visible to the all participants. So what should I need to do? Go to this one and again edit the settings and make visible this course to all the participants. Now, user 3 or all the other users are also able to see that course in their window. But as I do not have enrolled these students, user 3 student in this course, so it is showing again the same error. Now I suppose that I have just given a lecture, introduction lecture to into the to my students, and I asked them to join my course, and I just want to know how many students are going to be joined into my course. So for that thing, what I need to do, I'm just going to click on the again this one, go to the more settings, go to user. These are the steps. Then you can check it out what kind of the enrollment method is using by this one Moodle. Okay, this one course. This course is basically using manual enrollment. If I want to change this enrollment method, then what should I need to do? I need to click here and I can see there are three different methods are there. One is manual, second one is the guest access, third one is the self-enrollment. Now for this one course, I just want to offer students to get self-enrollment into my course. I'm just going to click here to hide this manual enrollment and click on this I button to get enable this one self-enrollment method. That is done. That is done by me. That is sufficient to may ask a student to get enroll themselves in my course. So if I refresh this page, I'm doing nothing. I'm just refreshing this page. This page is asking me to, sir, you can enroll. Just click on the enroll me and get enroll yourself into this course. Okay. So when I click on this one course, enroll me button, again I am able to enroll myself into this course. I hope I am clear till now. Everything is clear to everyone. Please confirm it to the chat window. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to repeat the self-enrollment again. The self-enrollment says it actually what is the use of the self-enrollment? Self-enrollment is basically used when a student have rights to select their course from the given courses. If your university is dynamic and it is going to offer, if your institute is dynamic or automated or in the automation, sorry, autonomous. If your institute is autonomous and it is offering many courses for the second year, computer science engineering students or first year computer science engineering students, and students are free to opt their courses, then you can ask them to enroll yourself by default. So the enroll self-enrollment give the permission to all the students, they can enroll themselves for the course. It is this is same happening with the elective subjects. If your university or institute are offering more than uh, more choices for the elective courses, then you also can go through the self enrollment, because you students are free to get enrolled themselves for those courses. So that is the basically from this. So to do this thing, what should we need to do? Go to the till the course thing. Just navigate to the course thing. Earlier in the section, we have created these three topics, these three courses. But as I have assigned going to the mathematics, and inside the mathematics, I can select the participants. We have to select the participants here and click on the enrollment. Enrollment options are available here, and you can just type the username here. It will just going to show you only those participants list which are not enrolled themselves into this one course. Just for example, if I'm going to select this one, so Dr. Sunil Pratap is not the part of this one, but all those users, user 1 2 3 are the part of this one course. So those are not supposed to be displayed here. Okay, so I'm just going to add Sunil sir. Okay, and I'm saying that Dr. Sunil Pratap should be the teacher for of the faculty member for this one course. Okay, and click on the show more. And the responsibility of Sunil sir is starting from when the course has been started and the duration of enrollment in this course for the 180 days. After the 180 days, his enrollment for this one course will be discarded. Okay, so just click on the enroll users. That means I have assigned Dr. Sunil Pratap as a faculty member, and you can see check here. Dr. Sunil Pratap is a as a faculty member as well as the course administrator for this one course. Okay, why the course administrator? Because he is the with the manager role, and I already have given the name manager to the course administrators for this one course. Now all three are participants are students. Okay, so this is actually going from the starting actually, but in the earlier time I have just discussed how to enroll the students into the course. Right now I'm just going to discuss how you are going to assign the faculty for the course. So all these participants are going to be joined. Now only these participants or only these members are supposed to log into the course, and they can perform all the activities which are assigned to the course. Okay, so I think it is clear to all of you. Okay, so once you go through your hands-on, then you will be able to find out that it will be not so complex. It be easy. Just remind one thing. That thing is you have to navigate till the course, and then just navigate till the course. Whenever the course is not you are not found, this is the basically symbol of the course. These three dots. And when you find the course, just click on that course, and you find out the participants on the left side of the pane. So just click on this panel, participants, and you find the enroll users, where you can easily enroll all the participants for your course by manual. Okay, but this time it is become a big question, sir. Suppose that there are 120 participants 120 students who wants to participate in my course. So should I need to go through the manually, because it is become very hectic to me to enroll all those participants, search them, then enroll them into the course. That is really very hectic. So for this version, what we can do, we again go to the course page through the site home, computer science, semester 1, section 1, and this time open this course. When you open this course, you will be able to find this one. Okay, this gearbox. When you click this gearbox, this gear option, then it will give you another option that is called more. When you click on the more, it will offers you a user. Now this user is saying that what that is showing that how the user are going to be enrolled in your course. So you can see here that is user. So user is basically enrolled users. Do you really want to see the enrolled users? How many users are enrolled in your course? Those are 4. Other thing, the enrollment method. What kind of the method is he asking to us? That is manual. Okay, that is manual. Lalit sir, when Lalit sir, when you just go to the click on the participant window, I'm just
Sir,
click on this
Uttam sir,
one.
can you please repeat again?
Which one, ma'am?
So the steps that you did now, can you go back and repeat it again, sir?
Ma'am, I have started again. Actually, again started from that one. Uh, I already have started, ma'am.
sir, repeat this step.
Sir, that is basically used to enroll the student for the 180 days. You can enroll the student or the faculty member for the 180 days by
How
using
this option is? How this option came?
sir. Just click on the show more option.
Okay, 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 okay,
Okay,
okay.
okay. So I was here into the course administration. So you can check how many users are enrolled in your course, how many groups are there, okay, and what kind of the enrollment method we are going to use in this course for this course. So that is defining that you have a manual enrollment. Now please listen me very carefully and please stop. If you are practicing it, just write down the steps, because steps are more important than the practice from right for just right now. Okay, so when you click on the manual enrollment option, you can check it out. Enable manual enrollment, yes. The default role, it should be student or the technical staff or the faculty member or the course administrator, that is non-editing teacher, teacher or the manager. I said that should be student. Now you can set the default enrollment duration. Suppose all those students who are going to join my course will with me for the 180 days, okay, or you could say 6 months. Sorry for the weeks, because I'm just running with the weeks. So 15 weeks program, so go with the 15 weeks. Notify before enrollment expires. That is thing, it means the student will be notified when his or her enrollment is going to be expire. Okay, so I'm just saying no. If you said yes for the enroller and the enrolled users only, or the enroller only, it means the course administrator will able to get the email that this one user is going to be unenrolled by this date. Otherwise, enroller and enrolled users both should be notified when the enrollment is going to be expired. And the notification threshold says 1 day. It means the 1 day before both will be get the notification. You can make it 15 days before your enrollment is going to be expire within 15 days. So you just can click on the save changes. Now all these things just basically happening applied on your manual enrollment. So as I have selected earlier in the participant, going to the participant window, and I'm going to select the individual users and setting all them that your enrollment for the 180 days, 120 days. Rather to do this, I'm just going to change in my manual enrollment methods. That is the setting. If you want to delete this method, I do not require this method to get enrolled my users or the my student inside into my course, or just for example the guest access I don't allow, then I just need to click on the delete button. Now it will confirm that do you really want to delete the guest access. If you are sure to delete this guest access, then click on continue. It means you are never going to the guest will never going to be access your system through the this method, okay, after deleting it. So I'm not going to unenroll it. The self enrollment, now this is the another one. So how we are going to get this window enrollment method? Okay, let first go to the site home, again navigate to the user. I'm just explaining this step again and again, because you just can claim it and learn how we what steps we need supposed to do to get to set the enrollment method for my course. So click on the semester 1, section 1, and this is the part. Okay. After clicking on the course, you will be able to do these activities. So click on the gear button again, go to the more and users. Okay. Now users, you can go to the enrollment method. Just click on this enrollment methods and you will be on the same page where I left. Okay. Now this time I said, no, I am not going with the manual enrollment. So I am just going to hide this manual enrollment for my system and I'm going with the self enrollment. So it means the user are able to get able to enroll herself or himself into my course independently. He or she does not require any confirmation from my side to get enrolled himself or herself in my course. Okay. Next, sometimes if I just click on this one, you can directly navigate from here. That is the code, short name of my mathematics code. But for the best practice, always go to the site home, computer science engineering, semester 1, section 1, mathematics 1, and this time again go to the more. Now why I come here? Because this time my enrollment technique is changed. That is now self enrollment method. So when I click this self enrollment method, it is asking me to give some instance name to get the self enrollment. I am just going to define the same thing. Allow existing enrollments? Yes. All the existing enrollments will be with me always. Or allow new enrollments? Yes. All those enrollments who are the new for my course are also allowed for to enroll themselves for my course. Enrollment key, I will tell you later practically why this key is required. Use group enrollment key, that should be no. Then default assigned role. Default assigned role could be manager, teacher, non-teaching teacher, or the student. So by default it is student. The enrollment duration, I suppose that should be for the 180 days. Okay. Notify before the enrollment expire, teacher only or the enrolled users. How many days before? 14 days. Starting days of the enrollment and the ending days of the enrollment. Okay, you can set the enrollment start date and enrollment end date. Just for example, I suppose that students are only able to enroll themselves between today till 15th of August at 23:59. This is the maximum span to get enrolled themselves to my course. And the enrollment of my course, it should be first come first serve basis. Okay. So for this time, I'm just not going to this one. Unenroll inactive after how many days? If your user is not active, if it is not going to do the activities in your course, then how many days it is going to inactive? Okay. Maximum enrolled users, yes, that is the size where you can define how many user, maximum number of users get enrolled themselves in your class. Just suppose I ask you, if suppose the maximum strength of your class is 60, then you can suppose to do this 60. Now send course welcome message. If you want to send, then select yes. Otherwise, otherwise this one no reply address or something else. Otherwise set to be no and save changes. Now the problem is going to be started from the self-enrollment method here. What the problem we can face by using this self-enrollment? Let me discuss. Again, I have allowed, just suppose I'm just going to enroll one user from the my more. just go to user and check it and then enrolled users, and I can find these users are enrolled. Suspended and delete. I'm just going to delete because I want to show you something. It's supposed to, no, that is not deleted yet. It was, yes, it is now deleted. Okay. So, I will tell you it later, but this time user 3 is not the part of my mathematics 1. And suppose this mathematics 1 is the course of first year student and user 3 is my user who is just supposed to in second year or third year or fourth year of BTech Computer Science Engineering, and he also want to get in your course. So that will be easy to him, that when he click to the this one and he will ask enroll me, and he just click on this one button and get enrolled himself into the course. So that is a challenge. It is not asking that you are from the first year student or the second year student or the third year students. So I need to create or I need to maintain some uh, inquiry or the pass key to get enrolled before in my course. That key will be shared to among the students of my class of the first year, and only those students, if those are not, I suppose that those students will not share their key to their seniors, then I suppose they will be only enrolled themselves in my course. Okay, so what now what I can do, I need to go to again, and every time I have to check for this one if my limited size is maximum, or that is a limited side. If it is maximum unlimited, then that means I do not require to manage the users. Otherwise I also have always have to manage the users because there is a restriction of 60 users. Okay, so sorry, course manager, and inside this one go to the admin page and go to the this one. Inside admin always have to maintain these things. Again, he can check the participants. Now user 3 is available here. Click on this one, self enrollment method, and delete the selected users. Unenrolled. Now he is deleted from my course. This is the time I need to secure my course to get enroll my student automatically. So go to the site home, navigate till the course. Okay. Go to the user, more, users, and click on the self enrollment and set the key here. Now I suppose that this is the key for my course. Okay. What is actually, when I click this one, I'm not enrolled in this one. So it is asking me to go to SEM 1, section 1, mathematics 1. That is my course in which the user 3 want to get enrolled, and click enroll me. Oh, okay. Okay, I do not have save changes. Okay, now site home, SEM 1, section 1, mathematics 1, and now it is asking the enrollment key for to get login into system. If I suppose that I am just giving the wrong key here and click on the enroll me, then it is showing that you do not have the required key to get enroll yourself into the course. If I just pass one correct key and click on the enroll me, then I will get into the course. That is just because of the security reasons. So that is how and there is a scenario that how many users are going to be manual enrollment and how many users are going to be through the self enrollment methods. Okay, so I think you all are with me till. Okay, thank you so much. Now next thing,
Sure.
again, now the requirement is just going to be little bit changed. Now the changes of the requirement ask me that suppose that I do not really I come to the teacher and I just came to the teacher and tell, sir, I want to get enrolled in your course, but I don't know how I going to get to enroll myself in your course. So kindly please allow me to by the manual enrollment, and you just ask him email ID or the username or the name of that person, and you really want to get into the course. But this time, when you click on the enroll users and type here user 3, it is also defining that you are also able to enroll this method sorry, this user through manual. Okay, click on this one enrolled users. So now let me check. We have only 3 users. Okay, still we have 3 users, and that user is active, user 3, but not these users are not active because this user have already logged in my system. That is why it is showing active. But I want to make a distinction between the enrolled users or more than one enrollment types. Okay, so I just click on the enrollment method and click on the I button, and now I am able to do the both manual enrollments through the manual and through the self. This is default enrollment method. If you are going to hide this one method or delete, until unless you are not going to delete this one method, that will not appear, but that will work on the background. Okay, but other than these options, there are some more options are there to get enrolled, but we will discuss in later. Okay, so that these are so many easy tasks to get the enrolled yourself through the self enrollment. Students get self enrolled through the self enrollment method into the course, and teachers can enroll your users through the manual enrollment. Now the question is that uh, or we could say the problem is there. A problem is this: suppose in the first year there are, for the university kind of syllabus, not for the autonomous institute, this is the this will become a big question for the universities affiliated institutes. In the first year, we suppose there are 5 subjects only. There are only 5 subjects, and all the student need to participate on in all those courses. Okay, and every time it will become a hectic task to the administrator and the teacher as well, and the student as well. A student, if you are going to self enrollment, then he has to perform for the 5 different times for the subjects, and then it become a tedious task to the course creator or the manager or the site administrator to create the number of users and then ask teachers to get enrolled those students into the courses. That will become a tedious task to both the persons. So how could we resolve this one? Yes, it is for the mandatory courses. So what should we need to do? Okay, you all already have I suppose that you already have created some students in earlier in morning session or afternoon session, I suppose. Okay, thank you. Now this will become a challenge. How it become a challenge to me? I need to create the 180 students data. Okay, first time I need to create a number of data. Then I have to ask the teachers to enroll those students into their courses. Now every teacher is going to enroll 180 students by manually. For the manual, I am just asking for the manual. Self is the other option. That would be easy. But that will be not in your not for the it will not work for the mandatory courses. But if I want to create a number of users and I really want to get enrolled manually enrollment method by using the manually enrollment methods to get enrolled those users into the course at once, then what should I need to do? I'm just going to create the users. First is my by using this. First my username. Second is user first name. That is should be the first name of the student. That is the last name of the student. There should be some password. Now there should be some course. I'm not sorry, email. There should be some email of the user. And what I need to require here, I have these are the mandatory fields to create a user till here. Okay, these are the mandatory fields. But from here, what I should need to do, what kind of the role it is going to get in, that is the role one. If your participant having more than one role, then what should I need to do? Just I'm going to define like this: role 1, role 2, role 3, like this. But please mind that the spelling should be correct for these things. Otherwise, during the uploading of bulk users, it will creating an error. Second, okay, so I'm just going to delete these other two roles because I don't suppose that is another every user must have more than one role. Okay, but one student may have more than one courses. So just course 1, course 2, course 3. I'm just going to get enrolled these students into the all three courses. Now first username, user 4. I'm just making some dummy data. 4 to 10. First name is user. And this is again going to dummy data. And that should be 4, 5. And creating dummy, all things in dummy. User @ 1, 2, 3. And okay, so just copy this one and paste. Email ID user4@gmail.com. I'm just going to getting all these IDs using let me do one thing. Okay, now the different email IDs and the role should be student. Okay, suppose all these participants are student and the last one is the teacher. Just write down teacher here. Course, what is the course? Just suppose I'm just going to my course window of section 1, click on the section 1, and I am able to see chemistry 1, mathematics 1, and introduction to computer. These three courses are available for students. So I'm just going to right click here and open into the new tab all these courses. Okay, so this is course 1. So this is course 1. Now check out the small name, the short name of the course, that is Maths 1 CSC SAM 1 section 120. So that should be there. Maths 1 SAM 1 section 1 to 0. That should be the course name, the short name of this one. Maths 1 CSC. Okay, this is the course name. And I suppose that these participants, all these participants are going to get enrolled on the same course. Okay. Now, next one course, that is Introduction to Computer. That is FOCS CSC SAM 1 section 120. FOCS SAM 1 section 1 to 0. Okay. Now copy this thing and paste in every course. Now there is another third one, the chemistry one. This time it is this one, CHE CSC SAM 1 120. CHE CSC SAM 1 Sec 120. Just copy this one and paste. Okay, if any participants have any doubts in this file, please ask me.
The teacher will not have
Pardon, teacher will not have?
courses 1, 2, 3.
Ma'am, he will be teacher for the all these three programs. So that is that the best practices says, if you are going to teacher just if it is a teacher for the just one course, then you can delete here these two lines. Okay, but the problem is this, rather to use this one scenario, I'm just giving here example, but by to use, rather than to use this one scenario, you can use this for the only for the students also. Okay, only for the students, that will help to you work for the students always. But teacher will make some confusion here, so teacher should be manually enrolled by the administrator or the manager. Okay, ma'am? Yes, that should be CSV format. Yes, Anup sir, that should be in CSV format. Right now I am working on the Excel file, but I am going to save it into the CSV format. Okay, so go to the file, save as, desktop. I have to select my desktop, and whenever you are going to save this file, always select this one, comma delimited .csv, not the Macintosh or MS-DOS based, because it is creating the UTF code, and it will not your CSV file will not be able to upload the bulk users. So please always use comma delimited file. Delimited file when you create. Now save this one, book1.csv. Yes. The other things are same. Just go to the course window, site administration. I think this exercise have been done by in the earlier section by all of you. Go to the users and upload users. Here is the example CSV. It is providing us to how you are going to create your CSV file. But we already have maintained the CSV file, so we are just going to select that file only. That is book1 CSV. Upload this file. Now it is asking to how many users should be preview here. 10. We already have less than 10, so that is fine. Okay. Now you can see the username, first name, last name, email, role, and this one is here. Okay. Just go and upload users. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just creating the users. All those users are created. And you also can check here. The enrollment type is manual. The enrollment type is manual. And user is enrolled in mathematics course, chemistry course, and introduction to computer course. Okay. And no one has the suspended account yet. So just click on the continue. And now go to the site home, computer science engineering, SEM 1, section 1, and click on the any one course like mathematics. Okay. Like mathematics. Inside the mathematics, check out the participants list. Now it is become user time become the technical staff because I need to write here faculty basically. Okay. So you can see here that is basically all these users or get enrolled into the course. So that is the very easiest way, and not only in this course, not only in the mathematics course, these users are also get enrolled themselves or enrolled in the other courses as well. Section 1, Introduction to Computer, and check the participants list. Okay, I just write down the wrong number here. FOCS, CSC. I just missed the CSC actually in my RAM. FOCS, yes, that is why it is the problem. I just forgot to write down CSC here. So that is why it becomes those participants are not get enrolled themselves into this one course. But once you go and check the other course, that is was the chemistry. Mhm. Okay, let me try this test. Okay, so now the chemistry course is available here, and we can see the participants.
Sir, we can use the course code also.
Yeah, not course code, sir. If you are providing the small course code, like just for example, we are offering a course code that is called DBMS 1. That means DBMS
Yeah,
part 1. So you always have to select the unique course code. Okay,
See,
sir.
sir, yesterday I have we are told that we have to assign some short name also, and
Yes,
defining
sir.
the FOCSE, mentioning the year, so that they will we can identify for which year is this enrollment.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
That is why we're at 20.
when we are mentioning the enrollment time period from 1st August to December 31 or 6 month, then we can
Yes,
use
sir.
the code like course code which we are assigned by the university.
Of course, sir. Of course, you can, because after the number of days, when the number of days is going to be expired, the enrollment of those participants will be expired. Okay, they can view the course, but they cannot log in themselves or enroll themselves into the course again until unless the teacher or the course creator give them until unless they don't have the permission from the course creator or the administrator. Okay, sir. Okay, so now these are the techniques how we are going to enroll a user or the student in a single course by using manual enrollment method. Second one, self enrollment method, and third one, the bulk enrollment methods. Okay, after that, I suppose this section is over here, and now comes to the other part of the course. So we have created the students as well in the earlier section, and then I this time we have enrolled all the course into the all the courses students into the all programs or the courses. Now I suppose that this is complete till now. Are you with me? How many participants have done their complete their enrollment, enrolled themselves into the course? Okay. So now there is the external database authentication. Now comes to the new topic. What is actually this for? Okay. So now suppose there are some. Okay. So before coming this one section, let me clear you one thing. That is not so mandatory for all the participants. That is basically comes to the advanced management of the user into the Moodle. That is the advanced user maintenance. Okay. Now suppose you have a centralized system in your college or in your institute or in your university system, and you are supposed that all the students are already, you have filled all the details of your students into this, into some application, and you also have created or get the data from the students and fill their details into a program, through a program or through the application, whatever you are going to use, through the some we could say that is ERP system like modules. Okay, but now you really want to implement the Moodle in your system, incorporate the Moodle in your for your institute. So what should you need to do? You already have created the users, like your students and the teachers as well, and all those participants have their enroll themselves in your application, and every time whenever you are going to switch, force the students to switch from that ERP system to the Moodle system, they will be going to be confused which username I should use in the Moodle system and which one use for the ERP system or the other system. So there should be just only one option or the one username that should be enrolled, that should be collect from the that should be connect to your ERP system to the your Moodle system. Okay, so to do this thing, we required the external database authentication in Moodle. So this method is basically allowed to get the username from the other outside of the Moodle database. It is not going to ask you to save all the users, first import all the users into the Moodle database. It is not going to doing like this. It is asked you to give me the database name. I will collect the all users name from that database and their password, and I will allow them. Oh, sorry. I will logged in. I will create the account of those users according to your convenience, and I will provide all the login authentication through their mechanism, whatever you are going to use. So for this reason, we required a database authentication. It is become little bit technical. So I suppose that only those persons who are really love to code, they can use this method. Otherwise, you do not require any methods. Just for example, for this activity, what should we need to do? First, I need to open my localhost. Sorry. I need to create a table into the database. Open just this phpMyAdmin, and inside the phpAdmin, I am going to create a new database called external users. That's it. In this section, I'm going to create a table that is called users with 4 columns. First is username. That should be varchar type and the length for 50. That is little bit technical. If you are not able to do this activity, that's okay. That's not so mandatory for to all the participants. Okay. So length is this one, and I can use the index, that is the primary key. Next one is the password. That is again the varchar. The password length is again 50. Then first name, FIRS, first name, that is again varchar type. Just sign. Then the last name, that is again varchar type. Length is 50. Okay, and just click on create this table. Now,
Sir, what would be happen if my ERP system has database by having the whole name as a name, not fractioned into the first name, second name, and last name?
so then it will be create a little bit panic, but you can do one thing. You can provide the first name and the last name as the name to the Moodle, because it requires both of things. Because I told you earlier that to create a user into the Moodle, you have to define the first name and the last name. That should be.
Yeah,
But
but
mostly ERP systems are using these phenomena. If your system is not doing this, then it will be appear like user 4 and user 4 again 2 times.
okay,
That's it.
okay.
Okay, sir. So this time I'm going to use this thing. And now go to this one page, site administration, and then check it out. Site administration plugin and authentication or external database. Okay. One thing I missed. Authentication, methods, and scroll it down. You can check it out here. User authentication methods are manual, no login, email based, which was described by Tanya ma'am earlier in the session. Okay. Now, this time I require this external database. Just click on this I button. Now it is visible. I need to set these things. So click on the settings. Okay. Now it is asking me to the host. Who is the host of the external database? Host of my external database is this. It is the same. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Are you getting me? If your host is same, just like me, I am running the same Moodle on this, and my ERP system is also running on the same system, and both are on based on the same local host system, like this one. This is my external database folder, and this is my basically Moodle database. Okay, so if it is consisting in the same system, then what should I can do? What I can do? I just type there localhost. Okay, if it is not the same, then you can type the IP of that local system who is actually hosting your database. Another one part. Now suppose there is an application. Your ERP is lively running site web application, and it is having some name like vvicam.in.
Sir, if
Yes.
the ERP system is in MS SQL server or in MariaDB, then it will automatically detected by the PHP
Yes, sir.
admin.
Of course. Yes, sir. Of
In
course.
case of if we are using the secure ERP like Oracle,
Then it if it is supporting here like OCI there,
Oracle, I should know. I think it should not be in the list.
Oracle is there, sir.
Hey,
Oracle,
okay.
ODBC, Oracle, everything is there. You just can select that things. Okay, sir. So just
Yes, sir.
type the host name of the database system. Just type there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just typing my name. Okay. Then it is asking me what kind of the database it is. That is not the MySQLi, it was MariaDB. That is the advanced version of MySQLi. Sybase code, no. DB name. What is the name of the DB? Now check out this one. What is my name of DB? That is external. So what should I need to do? I need to define here the external. That is my database name. What is the user of that database? I told you that is root. Password. That is the password here. Okay. That is fine. Now given the table name, which table name consisting your users, and the table name is I earlier have defined there, that is the users. So I'm going
What
to
should be the password of the database or
Yes,
the
sir,
password of the
root
ERP?
user. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay.
The root the user who have the privilege to access the database,
Okay, okay.
database user. Okay, and the password should be the same. Username field. What is your username field? Let me check my first this one. I'm going to user and I can check username is a field here. So I'm just going to type here username. Now the password field, it is asking me the password field. Okay. Now check it out. Password field is password. So just go to the and type the password. Now the password format. Is it the plain text? Yes. I have not applied any kind of the encryption technique in my password or hashing techniques. So that is plain text. Otherwise, I have to select any one of them as a password encryption or hashing techniques. External DB encoding, UTF-8, that is fine. SQL setup command, we do not require to provide any SQL command. Okay. Debug ADODB, we are not going to select the active database objects. Okay, because we do not use MS SQL basically right now. Password change URL, I'm not going to set this URL. I'm not going to define this one. And remove external users. Removed extra users. No, keep internal. Now come to the data mapping. Now data mapping is it is asking me for the first name. It is ask me to fill the first name here. So I'm just providing the first name. That is the field. That is the field name of my table. That is first name. Okay. Next one, update the local means from this table, if I'm going to update my table, so Moodle has no permission to get the authentication from the external database. So what actually Moodle do? Moodle grab the data, grab the username, password, and the other fields from the given table or the external database, and ask them to retrieve the query, to get the query as a result, and store all these user information inside the Moodle MDL user table. Sorry. So in this case, it is asking us to data mapping for the first name. I have provided the name of the field. Then it is asking when this one going to be update on the local system. On creation, yes. Update external first name, I'm not going to be set it never. Otherwise, you can select on update. Whenever the update is going to be filled here, then it will give instruction to the user that the database has been updated. But that is the concern of the other party software. Will it update on the other side or not? Okay. Lock the value of the first name, unlocked if empty, otherwise locked. Or the locked, it means the name cannot be changed. Okay. Database data mapping for the surname, that is my L name as I define here in this table. Okay. On the creation, इसको ऐसे रहने देते हैं, let it go. Now the email address, yes, this is the another one major component what I need to define in my database. So what should I need to do? I need to go to the structure, add a column after the L name, that is called email, or you can say email address, whatever you want to type here. And I'm just going to copy this varchar 20 60, and that should be unique. Okay, and save. Now my table has the fifth one row, a fifth one column, that is called email address. Going to map the email address here. On creation, everything should be same. Now check it out. Data mapping for the city or town. If you have, if you want to provide the field of that city of town, then you can provide here. Otherwise, you do not need to provide anything else here. Country, mapping, update external language. No language is there. Description tab is not there. Web page information is not there. ID number is again not there. Update local institutions not there. Department information is not there. Someone's mic is unmute. Can you please mute the mic? First name, phonotonic, that is, everything is okay. Now just go to and save the changes. Now we have done all the changes in our external database. So just go to the authentication again and test these settings. Okay. Now it is saying that 3.12.192.205 refuse your connection because you do not have provided any connection for the database. I said okay, then continue and go to the settings again. What should I need to do? Provide 127.0.0.1. Can you please mute your mic? Someone's mic is unmute here. Manish sir. Okay. Now just save changes and check it again. Test settings. External, it is showing that external table is empty. That is the condition. So what should I need to do? I need to fill just one details, user details here. That is called user 1, sorry, user 11. Password is user @123. First name is user, last name is 11, and the email address is user11@gmail.com. Okay, and save this. Now again, that's the settings. Now it is showing everything is fine here. So continue. Now I'm just going to log out myself from this one course. Okay, and try to log in by using user 11 user oh, sorry, the password was, I just forgot the password. The password was user@123, user@123, and try to log in. This user is right now currently enrolled in my Moodle database, but it is available on the external database. So just when I click this one, it will allow me to get enrolled or get access the site of Moodle. Okay, but this time when I click on the site home, I can visit the all courses, but I am not able to enroll. There is enroll me options, but I am not able to enroll myself for the manual enrollment method. Okay, this user also have the same privilege as the earlier users have. Okay, so this is the question. This is the answer for those things, or all those participants who are going to say that, sir, we already have our database, our ERP system, or our other applications where we have already created the user permissions, their user details, their credentials, and we already manage those things. Then it is become a hectic or the tedious task to us, while I'm going to manage these two different application platforms, because all those users we have to export from the one application and import to the other one. So it will reduce your tasks so effectively. You do not require to create the other users or the again and again the users for the Moodle directory by using this external database. Okay, so I think please repeat the mapping part. Okay, I am again going to repeat the mapping part, but I'm going to again the repeating the this one part. Going to the settings one. Okay, and just on the mapping part, there is a mapping part where I'm. Let's start with the beginning first. That is the host of the database. Okay, host of the database means please type your address. Type the address of. Please type the address or the host address of the application where your database is running, actually external database. The type of the database as my server, this one Moodle server, and my external application is both are running on the same page or the same space.
For practice, please repeat the process for the creating a table also. Opening the database.
Okay, I will go through that method again. Okay, let me give me just a minute. Okay, so go to the new button, create a new database that is called external plan.
कितना बढ़िया है आपका तो
How will I open this page?
Yes, sir.
कितना बजा है
How we
PHP
will open
MyAdmin.
this page?
Sir,
Okay,
type down
PHP MyAdmin.
localhost/phpMyAdmin. That is the PHP MyAdmin page.
सर इसको पहुंचना कैसे है इस पेज पर ये पता नहीं लग पा रहा
Sir, you need to type down this one, localhost
जी
PHP MyAdmin. But that is not work for those participants who are working on the Google Cloud.
ओके
This will not work for them. Okay.
पंखा तेज कर देना
अच्छा
Someone's mic is unmute.
ठंडी लग रही है बाबा इस टाइम
Someone mic is unmuted.
Anand sir, can you please mute yourself? Dr. Anand. Manish sir, can you please? Thank you.
Now create the database. Now it is asking to create a table. You just provide here 6 columns. That's enough. And the name of the table, like test. Whatever you want to create this table name. You can give anything, any name to this table. Hit the enter. It will ask you, provide you 6 columns. Okay. But there are some requirements. Just for example, I have a user ID or username or a user things. Just suppose, I suppose there should be a email address. Okay, I will use email address as a user. So I'm going to use email address and provide it the varchar. Length is 60. But this email address, if I'm going to use this email address as a username in Moodle, that should be my target. That user can be enroll themselves by using their email address. So if it is my username, then I need to create it primary key. That is the compulsion part of Moodle username, because this time I am going to use email as a username for the Moodle application. Okay. Next one option is first name, or you just can write down F name for the first name, L name for the last name, and set the varchar. Varchar is basically responsible to get the varchar characters or character type data in the database, and give some size of the characters. Now, next one was password. That is compulsion. I'm just using the pass. Okay. That is again varchar, and that should be some length. So I'm just going to use 20. After that, I'm just going to use city. In the earlier section, I have not covered the city part, but this time I'm using city. Now city size is 60. That's fair enough. Later on, what I need to do, let me check once more again. Sorry, not in this, the other database. Users. So all are you creating this database? That's fine. I covered all these things. Okay. Now that is for the country of the person. Varchar. That's fair. After this, just hit the enter. Okay. Now your table is created with the name, email ID. That will play a role of as a username in my Moodle server. First name of the participant, last name of the participant, the password, the city of the user, and the country of the user. Okay. So next thing, go to the insert tab and provide an email ID. User 12@gmail.com. Now this is the email ID for this one system. Okay, that is for my ERP. But this is again username play as a username for my Moodle database. First name user, last name is 12. Password is my user @123. City is Delhi. Country is India. Okay, just hit the enter. Now it is complete.
Sir,
I have
this
one.
database.
Just click on cross.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
We can directly import this database to Moodle_FDP.
Moodle_FDP. Yes, the site. Yes, you can directly import. I'm just going to tell you how.
Okay.
If you are not practicing this session, that is not so mandatory to all the participants, because it is little bit technical for the non-technical for those persons who are not having the computer science background. It become little bit technical. Okay. Okay. So I have entered one user. Now, all you need to write down the steps for this process, because it might help you in next when you are going to implement this model with your external database. Okay, so this is the thing, it is happened. Now what should I need to do next? I'm just going to site administration. Okay, I'm going to start with from the started. Go to the plugin. Okay, and now check it out for the authentication, and I checked here authentication method is there. Click on this authentication method. When you scroll down, you will get the external database. It is right now here, but it will be somewhere here earlier. Okay, and click on the settings. First make it visible, then click on the settings. During the settings, it will ask you the host. Okay. Now it is. Let me clear you something. If you have host your site on GoDaddy.com or in HostGator or in any other service provider, which is basically providing the hosting provisions to all of you, then you have to write your site name here. Okay. And one thing you need to do, you have to create an administrator account at their site, GoDaddy, because they will not allow you to get into the database. Just for example, when I am going to use this one email ID, this one type 3.12.192.205, it's suppose that the request is coming from the outside. If and my server is not allowed the outside request or not going to entertain the outside request for this one database. If I'm going to assign this one localhost, if my external database running on the same system and my Moodle server is running on the same system, then we can do, we can just provide this IP address 127.0.0.1. Then next one is the select the database type. That is MySQL. If you are using MS SQL, then select the MS SQL. If you are selecting the Oracle, then you can select the Oracle. But right now we are using MySQL. Leave this thing as it is and change the database name. Now the database name is coming from my database. So my database name is now external one. Okay. So I'm going to use external one. DB root, DB user root. That is perfectly fine. Password is absolutely correct to access the databases. Table name is test, which I create here earlier. Okay. Username field, that is now no more username field in my table, as you can see. So I suppose that this email should be unique for every student. So this email may be or may play a role as a username. So I just can change it to the email.
ఏయ్! అట్లా వద్దు, మీరు నీళ్ళకి వెళ్ళదు. కొట్టేస్తా, బయటకు వచ్చి చెప్తున్నాను. ఇటు లోపలికి వచ్చేయండి. నీళ్ళకి వెళ్ళదు.
And the password field is pass, as you can see in this table. Okay.
ఇంకట్లా తడిచావు? కడుక్కెళ్ళి
I think-
toilets ఉన్నాయి.
There should be a problem.
Dr. Kala Prasad
Hello?
sir, your mic is on. Dr. Kala Prasad sir.
కాళ్ళు నరికే నలిగిపోతే చెప్పండి.
Manish sir, can you please mute him?
Hello, Uttam sir.
Yes, sir.
There should be a problem when we use email field as a primary field in the foreign table in my ERP. In the most of the ERP in Moodle, in the most of the ERP for university ERP, the primary key is enrollment number, not the email.
Then, sir, you can use the enrollment number here rather than email.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Then
What I am going to tell you. पहले मैंने username
Okay.
बनाया था. Earlier I was creating
Yeah.
the username. That is now.
yes.
Now I need
You
to
are
define the test here because now this time my table is test. Yes.
మొబైల్ ఉన్నారు, వచ్చేసారు బయటికి.
Password field is pass and then scroll down.
అక్కడ
Now comes to the data mapping field. So my first name field is basically F name. Now one user has asked, one participant has asked, what will happen, sir, if the name is my field? Then you can do this thing, F name in both fields. If you are having the name completely.
వచ్చినాయి వాళ్ళకి. ఆ అరుపులో ఇంట్లో అల్లారని
Dr. Kala Prasad sir,
అక్క చెప్పు.
sir, your mic is on. Manish sir. Manish sir.
జాబ్ హోల్డర్ ప్లేస్ అనుకోను, అదేంటి?
Uttam sir, I am just calling him. Let please wait.
Yes, sir, please.
डॉक्टर काला प्रसाद सर, अरे भूख
Thank you, sir. So, if you have just only one name field in your database or your external database, then you can use these things for the first name and the last name as well. But right now we have two fields, so I'm just going to use two fields here. Okay. Now, just scroll down and check out for the email address. I can use this email address is mandatory for the username in Moodle. So what I can do, I can use this email as a username here earlier in this session. Okay. And the email as a email here as well. It is, there is no restrictions that one field how many times you are going to map. Okay. Now city is there, so just going to type down the city, and for the country I'm just type down the country because I have these two fields also in my table, city and the country. Okay. Now just click on the save changes. Okay, and check it out. Go to the just click on the authentications and check it out by using test settings. When you click on the test settings, if it will turns into the green, that means everything is going to correct. Everything is fine here. Now continue with these settings and try it out. I'm just going to log out from this one table. Okay, and going to log in. This time I'm not going to log in with like username 12 as a but this time I'm going to log in with the email address because my username is email address and the password was user@123. So click on login. Now you can see you are also able to get into the login by using user 12. Okay, that users. Okay, so if anybody have any query regarding this, then please ask me. I am available for the queries. Hello, am I audible to all of you? Okay. Test setting for to check, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Hello,
ma'am.
sir.
Yes,
Sir,
ma'am.
the data you entered in PHP admin was for one single user. So there we have to add one by one, or we can add a CSV file or something like that in
In
that table.
PHP my admin.
Yes, sir. You added one user, no?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you
So
can.
this will be,
Okay. I'm just going to. You can also use the CSV file here. Just that CSV file has these fields like external users, one test tables, and these field names like email. First column should be email. Second column should have the user first name. Third column should have the user's second name and password for the users, then city and then country. Like this, you can use uh, create a CSV file according to this given format, and then
You can
click on the
directly
import.
export.
Then click on import. Okay. After clicking on import, you can browse this file from here and click on the go button here. Okay. So you can create bulk users or import the data for the external database in your table as well. Bharat sir has asked a question. Test settings, what to check, sir? Sir, test setting is basically checked. Everything is fine at our external database. or shall we have to require some permissions, or there is some required some additional conditions to check that everything the Moodle is able to get the data from the external database or not. That is basically checking this one. If it is turns into the red output, it means there is some problem. If it is appearing the green screen, that means everything is fine, and you can apply these settings to get the data or get the username from the third-party databases. Okay, now I think everyone is clear for this one, these things.
About the importing database into the Moodle underscore FDP database.
No, you do not require to import the database directly. That is why it is giving this is given the external database features. Otherwise,
we
you
can
have,
do.
yes, you can do, sir. You can do. Let me tell you. Actually, problem is this: if you go to the Moodle and check it out, Moodle MDL user table. Check this one. Okay, this table has lot of fields, and you have to maintain all these fields. These are 54 fields are there. So it won't be possible to all of you that you have to maintain or export the data from the other database and then import into the Moodle user. But you can do, and it will work fine.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
But one thing is mandatory here. What should you need to check? That is the password. Password always should be in MD5 hash digits. That should be MD5 hash techniques. Okay, otherwise your plain text password will not come here. Okay, and user is not able to log into the system. So that is why, to avoid these kind of the things, we have discussed here the external database settings as well. Okay, sir. When new students are added to ERP every year, then they will also reflect in the Moodle with the last method. Yes, of course. Every time, whenever the new students going to get enrolled in your institute, and they will the institute will provide a username and password to those students through the ERP system, then you also can use the same username password into your Moodle as well. They can use the same username password for your Moodle login purposes. Okay. If I am clear here, then I can share something about you, about the course enrollment method. Something different. Okay. Okay. So this time, go to the site administration. This time I need to go to the plugins and check out enrollment methods. Please. Okay. Till now we have used manual enrollment, self-enrollment, but we do not have used any other the enrollment method here. There are a lot of things, but right now, suppose that you are running an institute and you want to pay the student through the Moodle, then you can use the PayPal account, the PayPal settings. Click on this I button. Through the PayPal, user is able to pay the fee through the PayPal by using your Moodle account. Now PayPal is just going to settings, and you need to fill the business email of the PayPal. Okay, then notify about the transaction to the students, notify about the transaction to the teachers, notify transaction to about the payment to the admin, and the enrollment expiry action, that is again same as the before we have discussed earlier. Now there is another one thing. Allow PayPal enrollment. Yes, you have to select it, convert into the yes, because this will force that if you select the PayPal enrollment method, then user have to pay first, and then he will get enroll himself into the into our system. So right now we do not have these settings, so that is why I'm skipping this part. But you can also, yes, you can also use these things, and you can select the fee as per your requirement. That is Indian rupee for India. Default role of assignment, that is student enrollment duration. You can select according to your course. How, for example, if you are running, this is just for those participants. Just suppose if you are running a course like summer school for the other participants outside of your institute, and you force them that please first pay, then come and join our course. So where you can use this method as well. They have to pay through the PayPal, and then they can enroll themselves into the system. That is the condition. So if you have any query regarding all these things about the enrollment method or the external database method, then I am here to solve this. Otherwise, we can close the session.
If there are any query, you can unmute yourself and ask the query, or you can write in the chat window.
इनका एक बार बता दीजिए, मिल नहीं रहा है।
कौन सा सर?
जो अभी आपने बताया जस्ट लास्ट में।
ओके, ये लास्ट वन।
साइट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन से कैसे जाना है?
Okay, site administration, then plugins. After plugin, looking for the enrollment methods. Just scroll down to the enrollments. Click on this enrollment, and you will be able to find the PayPal here, some there. And when you click on the enable, when you are going to enable this thing, then it will be appear here. Click on the settings to set the PayPal settings.
PayPal method.
Yes, sir.
Furthermore, on when we continue this process, it is connected to some payment gateway, or it receives
Yes.
some sort of documentation, just like receiving.
Yes, sir. Everything will be maintained by the Moodle by itself. You do not.
Okay.
It will reduce your tedious task to collect the fees, then make mark the student has just paid the fees, and then get enrolled into the course. That is just going to be panic for the every teacher. So you can do these things. You can use this method to ask them for the fees, and when they pay fees, they can go for the further course.
Sir, one last question.
Yes, sir.
It may I am asking prior before the first or last session of the on LMS. In the previous session, Salja has asked to the ma'am that a user can see our details, by using the login. How can, my question is, how can we connect our LMS online to the other?
No. You, sir, if you want to connect your user, provide your LMS online to all the users.
Yeah.
There are two different things, sir. First, you know about the networking. What is in the college premises, and second one is the globally. Okay, through the internet.
Okay.
If you are
That's the
working
part
at
for the simple
yes.
hosting is site similar to the
Pardon, sir?
it is the similar to the hosting ERP.
Yes, it is the similar to the hosting ERP online. Okay, sir.
Okay.
And
Thank you, sir.
yes, Yogita ma'am, yes, it is the PayPal. It is a payment gateway, which is ask persons to first pay and then get enrolled themselves into the Moodle. That is a payment gateway. Yes, ma'am.
एनरोलमेंट में किस में बताया था? प्लगइन में, एनरोलमेंट में, देन
एनरोलमेंट पे जब आप क्लिक करेंगे तो आपको यहाँ पे लिस्ट ऑफ ये मिलेंगे नेम्स।
फाइन पहुंच गए.
Yes, sir. Sir, just scroll down till you do not find the PayPal.
Okay.
Okay. Now, this is the one best option for the payment gateway, which provides by the Moodle by default in their setups. But there are some other also options are there through which you can enroll by using these payment gateway. Just like some other, I really don't know the name because all are the just basically used for the foreign countries, not for the Indian one. We just know about the PayPal.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Dear faculty members, if there are not any query, can we close the session? Please confirm in the chat window.
Yes, sir.
So excellent organization. Hello,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Excellent organization.
Dr. Kala Prasad sir, आप अपना please mute your mic in the session, sir. It
Yes,
creates
sir.
lots of disturbance.
If you have some queries, Kalaprasad sir, then you can please ask in chat window.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So can we close the session?
Yes, sir. If there is no query, then we can close.
I'm just checking the availability of sir. If sir is there.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Hello, sir.
Sessions, I could see
Sir.
confirmation from the
Sir.
participants in the chat.
Good evening, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, actually, afternoon we have discussed about the examination for the orientation program students. You told us to tell us what will be the exam
For 3 weeks,
examination
students,
pattern.
students
Yes,
who are
yes,
in a
sir.
3-week pattern. So for you, everything is same.
Sir.
Everything is same. What has been circulated, the same pattern you have to follow.
Okay.
Means
Sir,
30%
thing is,
of project, Dr. Vishal, add him in some of the project.
Okay, sir.
Yes, 30% project, 20% attendance, 25 MCQ as well as assignment. But initial first week assignment you need not to submit. You need to submit the assignment only for the 3 weeks. Correct? And
okay.
any two
Sir,
MCQ
assignment what we are, sir.
Any 2 MCQ will be required for you. You may appear in 4 MCQ tests, but any 2 MCQ tests will be required. Any other question?
Sir, you are not audible.
I'm not audible?
You are audible, sir. Bushvili, sir.
Can I leave the class?
Yes, sir. You can leave.
Sir,
It is only he's a single student, huh?
3
Sir, there are 3
examination.
students. Sir,
Sir,
there
we'll
are 3
appear 3
participants who are registered for the.
Write in their groups, Dr. Vishal, what I said that you write in their group.
Yes, sir. I will share, sir.
We'll write you in your WhatsApp group individually. Yeah? Let other participants log out, please. Okay, thank you. Wish you a very happy Janmashtami. Enjoy. We'll meet tomorrow.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Sri Krishna, sir.
Thank you, sir.